Today, I am playing Terraria, but everything has been randomized. After defeating a boss or completing an achievement, I get a random item. I could get accessories to help me get stronger, boss progression to get further into the game, or something completely useless like Post Santa NK1. What am I supposed to do with Post Santa NK1? Will I be able to find a way to progress and defeat the Moon Lord? Watch until the end to find out. I make a journey mode character. I'm not here to spend hours grinding for resources or waiting several day and night cycles to get items I need. This just speeds up the playthrough. I choose a small world and leave the world evil as random, in the spirit of doing a randomizer. As you can see by the loading screen, I get corruption, which is the worst of the two. It won't matter much though. Because I start in journey mode, I get quite a few achievements to start. Some interesting things I get are the demon conch, which lets me teleport to hell, and the flying carpet, which lets me hover in the air. I then build some NPC houses. Because of the random progression, I can get NPCs earlier than intended, so I can get quite a lot at the start. Some of these NPCs have checks or useful items I can get, so I want them all to move in. I also get the discount card by almost dying from fall damage. I never use this for the entire run because I can duplicate infinite money on journey mode. I head over to a nearby cave to look for things to help me gear up. While I can get accessories through the randomizer, I can also just get them through world exploration. The main things I'm looking for are heart crystals to increase my max HP, ores to craft equipment, and a couple accessories. Ideally, a double jump bottle, any sprint boots, and some weapons. I can also get quite a few achievements through early game exploration, which could come in handy to break some progression. For example, I get the achievement for looting a golden chest, and get a paladin shield as a reward, which gives me the achievement for getting a hard mode dungeon item. While exploring, I get the achievement for surviving the first night. I also find a mace, a double jump, some heart crystals, and a lucky horseshoe. I'm playing on an earlier version of Terraria because of the randomizer, so some things may be a little different. I find and enter a spider biome to get the achievement. I loot the chest but trash the grappling hook because it sucks and I already have one. I loot some more chests looking for more useful items. A yo-yo drops from a giant Shelly, and using a yo-yo gives me an achievement. Post-Goblin Army. That's actually insane. Holy shit, we got our first, major good check. Getting Post-Goblin Army means the Goblin Tinker can show up underground. He's a very important NPC that allows me to get stronger equipment. I also find an Ice Blade in an ice chest, get a black belt from committing vehicular manslaughter, and free the Stylist. I also forgot I had a texture pack on that turns her into Ganyu from Genshin Impact. I find a chest with a Band of Regeneration and an Eye of Cthulhu summon, which gives an achievement. I think the randomizer lagged because the reward showed up 8 seconds later. I find more chests, one of which has an Ice Boomerang, which could be used to craft the Trimarang, if I was on the current version. I managed to find the Goblin Tinkerer and free him. I don't buy anything yet because I'm broke. I then find my 10th life crystal. I can now research and duplicate them to reach 400 health points. I find a chest with an extractinator in it. I was planning to duplicate Silt to get tons of ore and gems, but I got most of what I needed from mining, so I don't do this. I finish off my caving with the achievements for getting an anvil and entering hell, then head back to spawn. At spawn, I find the traveling merchant, who is selling nothing useful. I place the chest down to hold all my items while I craft the magic storage system. This is a mod that makes inventory management easier. I use the magic storage system to craft some gold armor and tools. I fill every die slot for an achievement, which grants me post Queen Bee before exploring the surface. I head to the left and find the desert and jungle. I can technically find an enchanted sword shrine at this, oh. I can technically, oh yeah, there's one right there. I found it. I head down into the enchanted sword shrine to get one of the best weapons I can currently get. I also explore the attached cave and find water walking boots. I make it all the way to the ocean and rescue the angler, and never interact with him for the rest of the randomizer. I go back to spawn and purchase the Tinkerer's Workshop from the Goblin Tinkerer to try and improve my accessories. I can't. I can upgrade my grappling hook though. I then explore to the right. I enter the snow biome, which luckily has a surface cave I can explore later. After a while, I find the dungeon and behind it, the corruption, which is kind of far away. I figure out which chasm is the correct one and reach the right ocean. I go back to spawn and then make my way to the jungle to explore it. The jungle has a lot of loot, and I still want a couple things. The first chest I open in the jungle has feral claws. Then I get a boomstick and a boomstick. Did I mention I got a boomstick yet? I find a cabin with a sharpening station and a chest that has another lucky horseshoe. I see a completely safe and not suspicious chest, as well as a chest with more feral claws, and another chest with an anklet of the wind. Then I open the chest that is completely safe and not suspicious and get 2 achievements. After opening that blatantly trapped chest, I get the first thing I need to actually beat the game, Post Golem. This is a good time to explain how to beat Terraria and this randomizer. To beat vanilla Terraria, you need to defeat Skeletron to free the old man from his curse, and the Wall of Flesh to enter hard mode. Then you beat all 3 mechanical bosses and then Plantera. After beating Plantera, you can enter the Jungle Temple to fight Golem. After fighting Golem, you can fight the Lunatic Cultist and start the Lunar Events, where 4 pillars spawn. Each pillar has a shield you break by killing the enemies that are spawned. After you kill the pillars, the final boss, Moon Lord, will spawn. Yeah, that's a lot, but the randomizer can let me skip a lot of that if I get lucky. If you were paying attention, after Golem, the Cultist can spawn at the dungeon, if you're in hard mode and the old man isn't there. I just got Post Golem, so that's one thing taken care of. After getting post-Skeletron, hard mode, and post-Golem, you can beat a Terraria randomizer. I head back to the jungle to try and get Hermes boots. I end up getting a Staff of Regrowth. I also get the achievement for entering a beehive, which gives me the Titan Glove. I don't want to fight the Queen Bee yet, so I go looking for more chests. I find 2 chests next to a Hermes boot statue, so one of these will definitely have them. They have shoe spikes and another cloud in a bottle. I leave the jungle and go to the arms dealer and buy the mini shark. It's a good weapon and I get an achievement for buying it, which gives me Post the Destroyer. This will be really good in a bit. I go buy a cat's license from the zoologist and then craft some upgrades. I make an ivy hook, the power glove, and the diamond minecart. Now I do my first major sequence break. For whatever reason, the steampunk can move in pre-hard mode if you get a post-mechanical boss. And after defeating Golem, she looks at the steampunk wings. These are really good wings, and give me insane mobility for this point of the game. I drink a gravitation potion to explore the Sky Islands. I get the fledgling wings and get the achievement for hitting the top of the world. I also get a shiny red balloon and Star Fury. I land at the right ocean and start to build NPC houses for some pylons. I have a mod that lets me teleport to pylons from anywhere to speed up travel. I make the ocean pylon at the right ocean for easy access to the corruption and dungeon. I then make the snow pylon at the surface cave I discovered earlier. I accidentally skip the desert and make the jungle pylon at the jungle cave entrance. Here, I get enough fallen stars to reach maximum mana, which gives me an achievement, giving me the magic conch. I go back to the desert to make that pylon. This lets the arms dealer have maximum happiness, giving me another achievement, and I get a good accessory from it, the shark tooth necklace. I also get a blindfold from spending 1 gold at the nurse. I go back to spawn to turn my shiny red balloon into a blue horseshoe balloon. I also die a lot here to make a graveyard for that achievement. It takes me a while to realize that sunflowers increase the amount of tombstones needed to make a graveyard. I go over to that snow cave I found earlier to look for loot. I find a blizzard in a bottle, making me regret using my only balloon. I can't shimmer it to get it back because shimmer isn't in this version. I also finally find a Hermes boots variant, the flurry boots. I also find a skeleton merchant. I change the time between day and night to advance the moon phase to try and buy an aglet. I want an aglet because it's the only ingredient I'm missing to make frostspark boots. I spend 8 minutes on this only to realize that the skeleton merchant selling an aglet was added in a later version. I go back to spawn to craft the specter boots and then go over to the corruption to fight my first boss of the playthrough, the Eater of Worlds. The Eater of Worlds is the evil boss for Corruption Worlds. It's a giant worm and it's not much of a threat. I just crafted Jester's arrows, which have unlimited pierce, doing good damage to all of its segments. Killing the boss gives me the materials to craft a nightmare pickaxe. This pickaxe is strong enough to mine hellstone, which is a significant upgrade. I also pet the cat for an achievement. I teleport to hell and find a voodoo demon immediately, which is really lucky. I then go up into the cavern lair to mine some obsidian and head back to hell to mine the hellstone, so I can craft hellstone bars. As I'm getting a hell forge, I get a message saying the Eye of Cthulhu is going to spawn. I craft some equipment upgrades and the eye spawns. Because I never find post Eye of Cthulhu the entire run, it will try and spawn a lot. Eye of Cthulhu is a really early game fight, so I'm way overgeared and kill it easily. I go back to hell to fight the Wall of Flesh. As I'm flying to the left, a meteor lands. I head to the edge of hell to fight the Wall of Flesh. Killing it will be important for when I find my way into hard mode. It can drop some decent weapons, but I don't end up using any of them. Instead, I want the Pwn Hammer, which will be useful later. I also get a warrior emblem, which is ideal. I end up fighting a second Wall of Flesh to try and get another emblem, ideally Ranger. I get another warrior emblem. And before you say anything, Shimmer's not in this version, so I can't swap emblem types. Now that I'm fully prepared for hard mode, I need to find it. There's a lot available to check currently, so it shouldn't be something I get instantly. I fight Skeletron now while it's easy to do. If I get post-Skeletron, I need to farm for a clothier voodoo doll to be able to spawn Skeletron. Next, I decide to fight the Queen Bee because it gets me progress towards multiple checks, including the check for actually beating it. Hard mode. Well, we got hard mode. Now, I'm in hard mode, so there's a lot to explain. The corruption significantly expands, and on its opposite side, a new biome spawns, the Hallow. New enemies also spawn that are a lot tougher. I need to get gear, and the easiest way to do that is with hard mode ores. Using the Pwn Hammer from earlier, I can break demon altars to spawn in new tiers of ore. There are 3 tiers, each with 2 options. In the lowest tier, I get palladium. As I go to mine the palladium, I finally find the aglet. I make the pickaxe and go mine the second tier ore I got, mithril. I prefer orichalcum and would use orichalcum armor if I got it. Oh well. I make a mithril pickaxe and upgrade my anvil to a mithril one. I then go mine the highest tier hard mode ore I got, titanium. Again, I got the worst option as adamantium has better stats. I make titanium armor and repeater and head to farm enemy drops I need. The first materials I want are in the corruption. I go to the surface corruption to farm rotten chunks. I want to fight the mechanical bosses for equipment and checks. Using the rotten chunks from the corruption, I can craft a summon item for the destroyer. The only other mechanical boss I can fight is the twins, because I can't access the dungeon for bones for Skeletron Prime. I would really like to get, crystal bullets. Oh, that's Eye of Cthulhu. I don't have post Eye of Cthulhu, so it's just gonna keep trying to spawn. Oh, that's actually an insane grab. Because I don't have a way to fight Skeletron right now, because I don't have post Skeletron. Well, I have a way to fight Skeletron Prime now, which is really good as that's several more checks I get access to. There's a check for killing Skeletron Prime, one for killing all 3 mechanical bosses in the same night, one for making a pickaxe from the souls of all 3 mechanical bosses, and one for using that pickaxe to mine Chlorophyte. I quickly dispatch Kingslang for the check and farm some lenses for the twin spawn. After this, I go to the Underground Corruption to get Souls of Night. I get enough Souls of Night and go over to the Underground Hallow. Here, I'm looking for Souls of Light. These souls are used to craft the boss summons. I also mine crystal shards to make crystal bullets later, and I also find a gelatin crystal. The last things I need to farm are on the surface Hallow. I get pixie dust and unicorn horns. I can use souls from the twins with these materials to make a rainbow rod, which gives an achievement. I can also make holy arrows, but I end up not using them that much, preferring my other ammo. I make my boss summons and get ready to fight the mechanical bosses. I fight Destroyer first because it's kind of pathetic in classic mode against Jester's arrows and it dies easy. I forgot to farm sharks earlier to make a Mega Shark, so I do that really quick. I craft the Mega Shark and then fight the Destroyer again because I want more hallowed bars to make the armor set and other items. It's still easy. I craft the full set of hallowed armor, including a ranger and melee helmet. I'll explain the 2 helmets later. I also make a hallowed repeater. I summon the twins, and again, it's not super difficult to fight them, especially with my upgraded gear. I just shoot them with crystal bullets using the Mega Shark and they die pretty easy. After beating the twins, the only thing left is fighting all 3 mechanical bosses at the same time. An actual challenge. After beating the mechanical bosses, I see what final upgrades I can make to my equipment. I make a hero shield for the defense, and a fire gauntlet for the damage, and realize something interesting. Okay, that's funny. I can make the Ankh charm, but I cannot make the Ankh shield because I cannot get the Cobalt shield. Why can't I get the Cobalt shield? I can't access the dungeon. But once I get access to the dungeon, the run's over, because I just have the equipment to beat the game. I craft the pickaxe, axe, and the rainbow rod for the achievement. At this point, I'm just clearing checks looking for post-Skeletron. Once I find it, I can just beat the game. Hallowed Armor is what I'll use for the rest of the game. It has an insane set bonus where for 30 seconds after hitting an enemy, I become immune from damage from the next attack that hits me. I have the ranged helmet to fight the lunatic cultist, and the melee helmet for fighting the Moonlord. From the pillars, I can get materials to craft very strong melee weapons. Mega Strike is good enough against the cultists. I go to the bottom of the world for that check, and fight Queen Slime. I'm a little ahead of progression on this one, so it's just another easy fight. I then head to the jungle to get 2 checks. I mine a piece of chlorophyte, and harvest and consume a life fruit. Life fruit. Oh, we got post-Skeletron. Alright, run's over. Alright, time for another difficult boss fight. Time for the lunatic cultists. After beating the cultist, one of the lunar pillars spawns on me. I need to kill 4 of these in order to fight the Moonlord. The pillar that spawned here is the Stardust one. I can get a pretty good summon weapon from this one, so I kill it while I'm here. The second pillar I go after is the solar one. This is the pillar that gives me the melee weapons I use for the rest of the playthrough. I defeat the pillar and go craft the Daybreak and Solar Eruption. I go for the Vortex Pillar third. I don't need anything from this one other than the fragments. Because I'm in journey mode, I can duplicate the fragments I've already gotten to craft the 4th fragment. With all 4 fragments, I can craft the best health potions and the summon item for the Moon Lord before he spawns. I head over to the last pillar, the Nebula Pillar. This one is my least favorite, but for most of the pillars, I have Journey Mode's invincibility on. Because they all kinda just suck, I definitely didn't leave it on for the start of the Moon Lord fight. After defeating the Nebula Pillar, I ready myself for a final battle. And that is the Terraria randomizer completed. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing so you don't miss out on future videos like this one. You can also follow me on Twitch to watch these live. Riding a mount gave post Eye of Cthulhu, so if I ever find a mount, I could have stopped that. Okay.